What's going on, y'all? Corpus Christi Originals, back at it again, coming live from the Produce Streamlab Studios, downtown Corpus Christi, Texas. We got in the building, Night Creature Productions.
Hello.
What's going on, y'all?
Hello. How you doing?
All right, what y'all doing? How y'all doing today? What's going on?
Good. We're doing good. Doing good.
Yeah. So how'd y'all feel when I invited y'all into the show, or when you were introduced to the show, or you were coming on to the show? How'd you feel?
A little bit of nervous first, still kind of nervous, but we're starting to get over the jitters right now.
Why are you nervous? What do you mean?
Because we live.
Okay.
Make it happen.
You can't cut and then re-edit.
We're used to that. Making it look really nice.
That's like
we'll do our best.
That's an editor joke right there for you guys. That's what's up, man. Man, so you guys been in the Corpus Christi scene for 25 years?
Yeah, since 1998.
Yeah.
98. Wow. So when I hear that, I'm thinking about like the equipment that you got to have at that time. You know what I'm saying? So what's the deal? Like why did y'all start? Why did y'all decide to start at that time in history?
Well, I would say, what I would think is when we were back then, when we were younger, we would watch horror movies till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. And sometimes not the greatest horror movies in the world. And Chris and I would start thinking, we can probably do better than that. And then it just started talk about maybe we can do better and we can do better. And then we decided, let's try to make our own little horror movies. And then it started stemming from that. And then we just borrowed the VHS from one of our parents and just started shooting.
Wow.
Actually, back in the day, our first movie was like we rented a video camera from Les Felser's for a weekend, and we shot at Tom Brown, and it was just us playing like zombies and stuff like that. And that was essentially kind of the starting point. And since I was a horror fan, I still am a horror fan, I started to learn how to do the special effects makeup on this guy.
Nice.
And that's how we honed our craft. So we would see something in Fangoria magazine or something in those star logs and stuff like that. That was kind of like the catalyst that got us going.
Wow. So I'm stuck on Les Felders. What is that? I've heard that name. It's not around anymore, is it?
It was a video. Yeah, it was a video store, but they used to rent out VHS decks, and they also rented out video cameras.
Oh,
and you could rent a video camera for the weekend, and that's how we kind of started: 2 VHS decks and a VHS camera. And we would shoot our videos on the weekend and then start editing them out.
Wow. So you rented them out. So I'm thinking you owned it. Wow, that's...
Yeah, we didn't own a camera until way later.
Damn, y'all were dedicated.
Oh, yeah.
Golly. So, man, so you decided, all right, we could probably make films better than this. So y'all just went at...
We just wanted to make films. We just love it.
And so horror is the genre that you all obviously liked.
Yeah, it was the movies that parents didn't want us to see.
Yeah.
And they're like, watch the Disney movies, we liked watching the horror movies. So it was like, this is our rebellion. We like watching horror movies and we started liking them a lot more. So that's how we kept on watching them, getting ideas.
Yeah.
Seeing how certain scene the person died in, because, well, let's try to redo that,
Mm-hmm.
So unfortunately I was the guinea pig, but I mean, he eventually got it all down. I suffered a couple of times, but I came out okay at the end.
Only a few minor burns.
Right.
To the face.
Yeah, Anthony Diaz, Facebook. He's on Facebook. He said in the house. Thanks you, Anthony. Francesca, hi, Mom. Yeah. Garza on TikTok. Thanks a lot, you guys, for joining. Wow. So, form of rebellion? So you were saying like your parents. What do you think? Because you're saying your parents wanted you to like. Of course, it's something that they didn't want you to watch, but you're like, I'm gonna watch this anyway.
Well, it was never necessarily a form of rebellion. It's like, oh, why are you watching that stuff? It's like, that's not good stuff to watch.
Okay. Yeah.
So it was something we enjoy doing. So it's something we just continue to do.
Right. So I guess in my household or whatever, if you listen to heavy music or whatever, don't listen to this heavy stuff. Listen.
Yeah.
Okay. I got you. So it's like what you're interested in or whatever. And it's amazing to me how many horror people are in the city.
Oh yeah.
Like you know what I mean? The amount of people that are in here, just being on my Instagram and being introduced to
Ronnie.
Well, I forgot your tag name. Was it? Yeah, Corpus Christi Goth Girl. Like she shares my stuff often, and then having the network that she has on Instagram, like a bunch of different horror people. It's amazing to me. So y'all being out here for these people that like y'all, it's awesome to know that y'all are out here. So, and I was just researching y'all's website and found y'all on YouTube, and then I found y'all on, I think, Amazon Prime.
Yep.
That's amazing. That's big, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah, I mean that's Muerte Tales of
Yeah,
Horror
Muerte
there.
Tales of Horrors on there.
Yeah.
And on
And
Tubi
Tubi.
and Plex.
y'all even got a IMDb profile on there.
Yep.
It's pretty cool, man. So, and then y'all were mentioning earlier some kind of distribution deal. What's that about? Like,
You Cinema Epics.
Yeah, we signed when we started. Mario mentioned it earlier, but we were working on a short film called The Date, and we showed it to somebody that we knew that was a filmmaker slash sales agent for Cinema Epics, and he basically said, if you do a couple more of these, then we could sell this. We can actually turn it into something that we can, distribute it onto different platforms. So that pretty much set the movie Muerte Tales of Horror into motion.
wow, that's
So,
cool.
So we decided. So we had several short films. From what Chris told me, he said, "I can't sell short films. I can only sell features." So we already had 3 or 4 short films filmed, and we were like, "Well, you know what? Why don't we just combine all the 4 short films together, put a storyline that combines them all together, and then we'll have our 2-hour feature
Wow.
length film." And that's kind of how Method Tales of Horrors came about, and that's how it is now. And people enjoyed it, and then we got it all distributed, and so a lot of people get to see it.
It was a lot of work.
Yeah, that's awesome. So so you had to put those 4 short stories together. You had to change because it had to go connected to each other, I'm assuming, or whatever.
Yeah.
And so you have to change it around or whatever to make it fit
Right.
into. So does it have to be a certain amount of time long to be an actual movie?
90 minutes.
So it's got to be 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. And the short film, is that a certain length?
They were all different lengths.
Yeah.
They all kind of changed, and they all had different kind of vibes to them
Yeah.
too. There were some that were more sci-fi oriented, more that were straight horror, in that slant.
That's interesting. So sci-fi and horror, they're not the same. They're not the same.
Oh no.
So there's I guess a boundary.
It was a tonal shift more than anything else, because we had one about a guy that goes on a date with a vampire, and he turns out to be a cyborg.
Oh,
That was
crazy.
kind of a setup to trap up the vampires and stuff like that.
Right on.
And that one's definitely more of a light-hearted tone versus, Mirror, that's more of a possession story, that kind of thing. But
So-
we definitely wanted the South Texas vibe in the film.
Oh,
So-
okay, yeah.
So that's
Talk
why we
about
had
that.
El Cucuy.
Okay. Oh, right. El Cucuy.
So we tried to kind of do a blender of a bunch of different ideas and genre attempts, and one, sci-fi, fantasy, horror,
Right.
essentially.
So again, you decided on keeping it South Texas just cause, or I mean,
It's just the thing that we don't see a lot of, that, Latino filmmakers going out. I think we were the first ones to actually do a Cucuy short film. So
well, in horror form or whatever.
Yeah.
Dude, that's dope. That's pretty cool, man. So y'all do like screenings and showings, like contests, I guess you can call them. Is that what you call them?
yeah, we've done contests, we've done film festivals and
Film
whatnot.
festival.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking about. So what are some of the other do the other types of shows that they show, are they kind of the same to y'all's or whatever? Do you try to have your own distinct like voice, I guess, to it, like, because you said the South Texas feel, right? Do you feel like you have to have that?
I think it's just part of our identity as filmmakers, I would say. And I felt like that was kind of what we tried to do with El Cucuy.
Yeah, I think that, like what Chris was saying, that we don't see a lot in mainstream. There are some Latin-based movies out there,
Right.
But the ones I've seen stray away from the story or don't tell the story like I was told. I mean, there is a couple of Cucuy movies out there that people have made. I think there was one on Sci-Fi, but didn't really touch the story of Cucuy. It wasn't talking about Cucuy. I grew up with my grandmother tells me, "Hey, you don't behave, Cucuy's gonna get you," and that's how we grew up, and scared the crap out of me. I would listen to my grandmother and she told me that stuff, so that stuck in my head. But then as time went on and I was doing research for the part, because I played El Cucuy in the movie part, in the Muerte movie, I did a little research about what the story really was, and that kind of intrigued me, that hopefully in sometime in the future, we're working on the script of a standalone Kukui movie that will more or less talk about his, where he came from, his backstory, and then bring it into the present. Is what we're trying to do.
Wow.
So that's, and it's very important, I think, that we as Latinos show what we grew up with. What our background is. We don't see a lot in cinema. It's here and there you'll see some things on TV and stuff, but for the majority, you have to go look for them, or you have to go into the Spanish networks and stuff. I think that maybe that's what we're trying to do is highlight the Latino culture, and other things. It's just not just with Kukui, but there's other things. Just us being Latinos brings that to the movie itself, or film project that we're doing.
It's almost like it's underground too. That makes me think about how it's just underground. Your what y'all are doing, and a lot of production companies are like that. And it seems like that only certain production companies are actually seen.
You kind of have to be either really, really big or small, because in between gets squished. 'Cause, I mean, you compete against major studios, so independents have a little bit more leeway with people who are, in SAG and have are in a union and stuff. We can get people that are not in a union, and we can do things that maybe the bigger production companies couldn't get away with, I guess.
Right on.
And which was good about Chris and Lewis and for that matter Oscar, we've learned to find, especially me in the last few years, learned how to do what we have. It's kind of hard to sometimes to put a production together and make it look really good. If you go back and look at what I mean, it's we had no budget, and you couldn't tell. If you go look at the effects on it, they're really legit. I mean, they're top notch for not having any money to do this movie. A lot of it's noise and sound, and a lot of faking and things that you don't really see. It's more of in your head that you get out of that movie. But I think that they did a lot with nothing, and it's amazing. If you go back and take a look at that movie, it's very impressive. And that's 2017. I mean, what we're doing now, we're advancing into a bigger step into more visual effects and those kind of things.
Right on.
Right.
Anthony Guzman says, "Hi, Uncle Doctor Scott."
Yeah.
Scott in the house.
I was in a play last year, the Rocky Horror Show. And I played Dr. Scott, and Anthony's he was my nephew Eddie. He plays Eddie in there, so he's my nephew. And
Is that at the Harbor Playhouse?
it was at the Aurora Theater.
Aurora, yeah.
So I did that. It was a great time.
Yeah, I played guitar at the one over here for maybe one show. I think it was Oklahoma or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for just that one time, and they asked me to play that one, but they wanted me to play bass. I was like, I don't really know bass.
Oh, yeah.
I play guitar.
Well, it's cool that they have a live band, so it's always cool.
Oh, yeah.
They play with live music, so that
Yeah,
I think
for
that's
sure.
really good. It's not done a lot, so.
Yeah, just looking at you, bro, I'll be scared of your character in the whatever it was.
Yeah, you go go on the website. My picture's on.
Yeah, right on, man.
Yeah,
He's so handsome.
Kind of
Yeah.
So Mario really suffered through that film because if you see the film, he's wearing a black leather jacket.
Yeah.
Oh.
And if everybody who are filmmakers know that audio is very important, so we had to shut off the AC in most of those rooms, so it starts getting really hot. So Mario was a trooper on that film. He was just like, after he said Chris has cut, I'm like, Mario, want to give me the jacket? Yeah, I can sing. They can sing off of me now.
This is a really heavy. It was kind of like a woman's jacket. It was a woman's long coat.
Yeah.
That I just happened to find in a garage sale the day we started filming.
Nah, crazy.
So that was on with this long wig, and then of course the prosthetics on, in this house with no air conditioning, and what was it, October, November, still kind of
still
warm.
Yeah.
So yeah, after 10 minutes we had to stop because I'm starting to sweat, and they had to take 10 minutes to pat me down and give me some air, and then go back and do it. So it was kind of one of those things. That's why it took so many times to do it. That
Yeah.
we all did it on the weekends. It wasn't any. It was all labor of love because we were all doing our time off and on through a long 7-8 hour shoot sometimes. But
Yeah.
I said I had a great time. I'll do it again. He
Yeah.
asked me to. I'll do it again.
So you, Chris, you learned how to do makeup through magazines.
Yeah, I was an avid Fangoria reader back in the '90s. It was a different vibe back in the day. There wasn't a whole lot of us, so it was whatever we could find. Any of the videos, any of the Fangoria magazines, makeup books, and stuff like that. We basically tackled it.
Yeah. See, self-taught.
Very self-taught.
Yeah. And Fangoria, is that still around?
Yeah, it's still around.
Okay. And so it's a popular, I guess, magazine for
Yeah,
horror fanatics? Or
Yeah.
does it teach about production as well? Or, I mean, does it
No, but it kind of, they interview the filmmakers and they talk a little bit about the process of making the films, and sometimes they would get into the logistics of making horror movies, and especially in the late 80s, early 90s, censorship was a big issue at that point. So, you know, it was kind of a, you know, you could see where making a film takes a lot of work.
And that's kind of where, whenever with the Fangorias, you know, we were able to see some of these films back in the 70s and go, that looks pretty cool. What's the name of this film? And we'll go try to find it and rent it. And when we find it, rent it and see it. And we're like, oh, and then we start learning that way. Because the Fangoria magazine will give you Italian horror movie or filmmakers, you know, all sorts of different types of them. And then we start, let's go get that movie and see what it's all about.
Yeah, we would watch like Deep Red and like Dario Argento, Lucio Fulci, you know.
These are producers' names?
Yeah, directors.
Directors.
We watched Zombie and
and these
House
are
by
from the 70s?
Late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah.
Right on. What do y'all think? Do y'all get into like Vincent Price? Is he like a horror guy?
Yeah, but we watched like House of Wax and The Tingler, all the stuff from the 60s, 70s, 80s, you know, as much as we could absorb at the time.
Yeah, right on. So, and I don't know if we brought this up, but you guys knew each other in high school, right? Is that how y'all got introduced?
No.
Oh yeah,
We grew
far
up together.
back before that.
Yeah, we grew up. I grew up across the street from Chris. So, and then we went to elementary school together. So I've known him since going to elementary school. So
Nice. That's cool. And do y'all have brothers and sisters, or?
I have two sisters.
Wow.
I have a sister, but she's passed away, and I have a half sister and a stepbrother.
Oh man, sorry to hear that. But yeah, so y'all are pretty much brothers.
Yeah.
Oh,
About
that's
5 or
awesome,
6,
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the movies also just really kind of gave us an excuse to hang out with Oscar and Jason, all of our friends. You know, it was just an excuse for us to
Oh yeah,
do things, you know, make movies and be silly and
nerd out about it, like,
about
geek
makeup
out about
and
it.
stuff,
Yeah,
yeah.
hell yeah, dude. Yeah, you gotta have some kind of like network system. You know what I mean, to help continue to, you know, I guess progress as people. I think, you know what I mean. I'm into music basically. I got a degree in music, so just being around musicians is helpful for me. But yeah, man, that's awesome, dude.
it's like a tribe or a band. It's kind of the same vibe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then of course you got tribes that don't like other tribes. You know what I mean. You can get into that or
It could be
whatever.
secular, yeah.
Yeah, right on. So you have an upcoming project called Project Evil Inheritance.
Yes, we do.
All right. So what's going on there?
Mario?
Okay. Chris wrote a screenplay called Evil Inheritance, and it's basically, I'll just do a little summary without giving too much away. Evil house, kind of doorway to hell kind of place, and things happen bad when the little girl was younger and she inherits a house from her parents. And then things go kind of crazy from there. I don't want to give a lot away because there's a lot of things that happen, but that's kind of the gist
So
of it.
it's a screenplay originally written for screenplay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Wow, that's awesome, man. That's cool. So how do you go about funding the film? Do you use your own money? Do you ask for donations? Like, how do you obviously need to fund the film, right?
Yes, all the above you just said. Yes.
Okay, so all those together.
All those
Okay.
fundraising, our own money. We're right in the process trying to get some grants for free money. So fundraisers, pop ups we're doing. You know, that's what we try to do is try to get donations. You know, screenings for donations, so we can at least be able to pay all our actors. We have the right makeup effects and everything. So yes.
Wow, that's awesome. So y'all got to go through actually testing out different actors and stuff like that too,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Yeah, we're in the
Yeah, we're in the
process
middle
right
of the audition process.
Yeah, all right. So what are y'all looking for currently? Just different. Is that okay to ask?
now. Yeah, you can. You're welcome to ask it.
Okay.
Yeah, Mario's the casting director, but yeah.
Right now, we're looking for pretty much. If you go to the website nightcreaturesproduction.com, there's a page for Evil Inheritance. All the character descriptions are on there, so something that somebody might be able to think that, hey, I might do well doing that as a character and want to give an audition. They're happy to send us an email. My email is nightcreaturecasting@gmail.com. That's the the one we use for all our auditions and stuff. So just if you have a resume or you want to try, and even if it's not for this, for something in the future, we keep everybody in file. So that way, in case something else happens or we need an extra person, we can call somebody. So looking for some local people who want to, you know, if they've never done it before, if they've done it before, it's great. We're looking for some extras, but that'll be further on when we do the production and stuff. But if you just male, female, if you want to try out, there's description, like I said, on the website, and if it fits you, you know, send me an email and we'll take a look at you. We are in the process of still auditioning some people, but that we've already done a few weeks ago, and but we're always looking for new people. So.
Right. No spam, right? No, don't spam.
Yeah, don't
spam the guy,
me,
please.
Don't spam me. I got no time for that. Just resumes, please. Thanks. Headshots.
Man, that's what's up, dude. So do y'all have like a release date? Do you set a release date? Like, okay, this is by the time we have to have it done. Do you do that for yourself, or?
Kind of a floating deadline right now. And I think the thing with this project too is, like, you know, we're trying to do something a little bit more ambitious and a little bit more linear. So we want to make sure that we're, you know, getting the right proper resources to realize what we're trying to accomplish here.
Crazy. Man, there's definitely a lot of planning. Seems like it going on.
A lot of
Oh
fun.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Keep up the great work. Thomas Greenlee says, Yoga Mark.
Thank you.
Oh, so speaking of yoga, you guys got something coming out?
Yeah. So we're going to be having Goth Yoga, and it's going to be on April the 20th over at the Corpus Christi Wellness Center. Intentionally.org is going to be hosting the yoga, and we're going to have vendors, and we're going to have food trucks, and we're going to have a screening of our short film that we just did recently called Nosebleed. So you'll be able to get to see that film there too. And it's be fun. It's from 5:30 to 7:30. You know, it's just come out, hang out with us. And we're also doing a fundraiser for the film, so we want to make sure that, you know, people that are interested in being involved with the project, that they'll be there. And we'll also have raffling for certain items as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Did I miss anything?
April
Yeah.
April 20th, you guys.
April 20th, yes. That's right.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were gonna say something. Oh, Lord Scuba Cabra, what's up, man? He said, "What's up, homie Chris?"
What's going on?
All right, man. Yeah, Scuba, and
Oh, no, Scuba. He was in a,
y'all know Scuba Steve?
Oh yeah, we all.
Oh,
we worked
okay.
on a film together, actually.
Oh, no kidding.
Yep.
All right.
A couple of films, actually.
Okay, cool. Horror film, also obviously.
Yes, another horror film.
Surprise.
Surprise. have you tried other genres?
But surprise, Nosebleed is not a horror film.
Yeah, that's the only one.
What'd you say?
Nosebleed is not a horror film.
No kidding.
It is not. It is a dark comedy.
A dark comedy. Wow. So is that something that y'all just recently ventured out to do, or?
Well, that was something that Chris said, that he was in a situation, and what you see on the screen is kind of like where he went through a type of situation like that.
Yeah, it's like kind of a blender of a whole bunch of things that had happened. And I was just like, oh, you know, this is kind of a weird situation. It might make an interesting movie. And I felt like, you know, it'd been a while since we had worked on something. So I felt like we needed to get back into that that mindset
Right,
of making
right.
a film.
So I guess pulling upon your personal, I guess, situations is helpful to put into helpful or easier to put into a film.
They always say to write what you know, you know, so if you can kind of take an experience and make it cinematic, or, you know, if you're in a particular type of genre and you just love it and you have ideas for it, yeah, you just write what you know.
So obviously there's a recent regarding AI and like Chat GPT basically.
Yeah.
How do y'all feel about that coming out? Because you could just be like, hey, write me a horror film or whatever. What do you think about that?
Well, I would say it's another tool. I just
Yeah.
don't think everybody understands the tools and how it'll be applied. It's just like we've been around so long too. You know, we started on tape to tape, and then we've gone to mini DV, and then digital, and then full digital, and stuff like that. Everything evolves over time. The editing, the way, but the basis of making a film and the basis of making a story come to life, that never really changes and stuff like that. That's just one more layer of things that you'll add on top of the process of creating.
So don't rely on it, but use it, but don't rely on it. Would you say?
Absolutely. If you just think of any kind of horror movie you've watched that has way too much CGI in it, and they don't balance the practical with all the other elements of telling the story, and it gets lost or it becomes very shallow. And that's a big problem, you know, and that will also be a problem with AI too. If you don't apply it in a correct way and you just kind of use it to get through or eke by something, it'll be just as sloppy as anything else.
You had an idea, Maya?
Oh, what was your thoughts on Lay Down with the Devil?
I
was
liked
good.
it. I thought the ending was abrupt, but other than that, I thought the movie was really good.
It was a good movie.
What was it called, Ma?
Late Night with the Devil.
Late Night with the
They had
Devil.
controversy because they used AI.
Oh, yeah, they
okay, so they used
generated
AI.
some images and AI on the film, but it's very sparse and it doesn't detract from the film at
and
all.
I don't. In fact, you had to point them out to me for people to understand what they were not real or what is AI. I mean, it wasn't that much of the film. Now, if you say write me a film and this is what I want, and then you go with that, and that's a little different. I think that's cheating in a
Maybe
way.
do some editing or
I mean, if you
whatever.
use like, I'm stuck in a scene and I need to figure out a way to get out of this situation in the scene, and you give that information and it gives you an idea, and then you write something from that, that's okay.
Yeah.
But if you're going to come, hey, write me the scene word for word, verbatim, I think it's a little cheating.
Yeah. So kind of, I got you. So I kind of agree. Like, use it, but don't like rely on.
Yeah.
You still got to be creative, also.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That's cool. So, man, making films in Corpus for 25 years. So you got Zombie Walk. What's going on there? Is it part of Art Walk?
Oh no! So our friend Will Diaz owns Comic Junkie,
Toy and Comic Junkie.
Toy and Comic Junkie, and he came up with the idea. And he said he wanted to do like a zombie walk on May the 4th, and then the day after he's gonna have free comic book day, so he gives away free comic books over
Nice.
there. So and they're toying with the idea to do a zombie walk, and also they're thinking maybe zombies versus heroes. You know, people come in their own hero costume or come in your own zombie costume, and they do a little walk for the do a zombie walk, and then celebrate, May the 4th, and then free comic book day the next day.
Yeah.
And I believe it's a collaboration between them and Suicidal Butterfly, and we're going to be involved too. I think we're going to do like we're going to raffle off a makeup or something. We're still working out the logistics of our involvement, but
Man, that's so you got to constantly be involved, and this is to help obviously market your stuff and to help
brand awareness for
brand
us.
aware. Yeah, that's interesting, man. So how do you find yourself? I mean, I guess that's one of the ways that you market your production company. Like, how do you find yourself doing that? Because obviously we have social media now too, and you have a YouTube channel, got Instagram. How do you find yourself going about that?
Basically, I think a lot of what we have to do is, kind of build awareness of what we're trying to do, get the word out to people. This is just another perfect example of us communicating with you about what our ideas are and what we're trying to accomplish and getting people behind the idea. So it's hard to stand apart from everybody too. So we kind of have to find our own little niche. And of course we are a team. It's just not me. It's all of us, we're all involved. We all have our part in this production. So.
Yeah, right on. Thanks a lot, Kaylee Diaz. She's talking about AI being a great tool, what you're going to be passionate about, and magic comes from, I guess, yourself. I can't read it, or I can't read from there. And then Thomas Greenlee says, "May the force be with you."
Yeah, we're also big
Are y'all Star Wars fans?
nuts,
Yeah. Right on.
and Transformers nuts, and
Yeah.
quite a few other ideas behind that too. So.
Yeah, so we got some questions that on a post recently. I was asking them what to ask y'all, and then I got a question here that says regarding film directors and writers. What film directors or script writers do you admire and why?
Me personally, I'm a huge George A. Romero fan. We just recently saw Dawn of the Dead, and that's a perfect example of taking what you got, knowing what you do, and making a great story, and it's lived on 45 years later. Great filmmaker. Also Robert Rodriguez, another guy that made El Mariachi for a Shoestring, Kevin Smith also with Clerks. That would be my top three right there.
Nice.
Yeah, and I would say Chris covered some of the ones I would like Robert Rodriguez and George Romero too. So I mean, those are one of my two favorites.
So they're mainly like Latino or Hispanic, the names, right?
I can see something going there. And Dario Argento, Lucio Fulci, yeah.
So you just like their style, right? I mean,
Their style, their stories.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, so we got another one here. What are the main hurdles that you face when filming a new film in Corpus Christi?
I would say one of the hurdles we face most of the time is location. Where we can shoot at and how long we have this location for. I would say 20 years ago when we were making the films, and we can usually just go to someone, a manager, and go, so hey, we're shooting your theater for about 2 or 3 hours. Sure, no problem. Now it's more like, well, you have to call our corporate office,
Oh, wow.
and it's going to be like almost maybe $900 for the first hour, and so it becomes more challenging of networking, talking to other people, and see who knows who can do us a favor, or go back to our roots. We're at Del Mar, and as for example, Nosebleed, we got a hold of Kim Fredericks, one of our old teachers from Del Mar, and we asked him, is there a way we can use the theater to shoot a movie? And he said, well, let me think about it. And then eventually he said, yeah, sure, no problem. But of course, he gave us a deadline of how long we can be there. He told me you can start at 9 a.m. and you have to be out the door, walking out the door at 5 p.m. Yes, because I leave at 5 p.m. I'm not going to wait for y'all to set up, get everything out of the building. So, yeah, I say that's one of the biggest challenges we have right now, at least when we're looking at the script right now, Evil Inheritance, locations where our challenges are right now.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, appreciate that, Anthony Diaz. Yeah, he's got these questions here. I always shout him out, man. So what are some of your goals in the film industry? Yeah, so do y'all have any goals? Obviously, you've been talking about them, right? So what's some, I guess, future aspirations for you guys?
For me, it's to be able to sustain what we're doing into the next 10 years and, being able to produce a project every so often and, just having that creative outlet, more than anything else. And just at a certain point, technology changes and stuff like that. It'll hopefully get easier for us to make projects and we just keep advancing and keep making better films and, just telling the stories that mean something to us.
Yeah, wow, that's amazing to me. Cause we were talking earlier, like we got day jobs, right? We do this like on the side, and it's like, why are you doing it? You know what I mean? Cause it's like, why am I podcasting? You know what I mean? I got my day job, I got my family, I could just go home and do this, but I actually want to do this. You know what I mean? What do you feel about that? Like, is there like what if like would you still be doing it? Like, cause obviously y'all don't make do y'all make a lot of money from it? Not really.
No.
You see what I'm saying? Like y'all have to love to do it to be able to do it, right?
Well, not yet, hopefully. But I mean,
So okay.
Well, we would like to make some money. So we can use that money to make other films. But yeah,
if it was about the money, then we would have stopped a long time ago.
Yeah. Gotcha. Minerva on TikTok, thanks a lot. She says, talented dudes. Tom Greenlee on YouTube, he's got a question. He says, what is your favorite local folklore spooky South Texas story and why?
Oh, that's a good one. I'll let Mario go with that one.
Well, of course it's obvious at Kukui, but there was, and I'm not going to go into it because we'll talk about it later, but there was, here in Corpus, there used to be a place called Goat Man's.
Yep.
And it was off of Staples. Back then they didn't have, now we have all this stuff there, but back then it was just all land, field. There was, Saratoga barely had a road, much less double with lights and stuff. So you go past Staples on the way out to Yorktown, and in that area between there was a road that you'd go down this road, and it was into this bushes and stuff with trees, and there was a house in there. And when we were younger, we'd say, oh, there's a goat man that lives over there. So my brother would throw us in our heads. Of course, like, he's 2 years older than me, so he's making me scared, of course. And so we would go down this thing real slow, and it's kind of scary, but it was nothing. It was just a folklore. But that was the one here in Corpus. Goat Man's, and I never really heard what the story really was about this, just that it was. And people lived there, and like I'm sure they got bothered with people just going down that it's just a dirt road all the way down there. So that's what I know here locally. Other than El Cucuy, like I said, that's kind of the big one for us.
El Cucuy and La Chusa, the owl, right?
La Llorona.
La Llorona.
Yeah. So which side of town did y'all grow up on? You said
yeah, well, I grew up on, actually, when I was younger, right near Ray, Casa Bonita, which is right there off of Pine Ray High School. I grew up there when I was younger. I went to Casa Linda. There's no longer Casa Linda there.
Yeah.
And then I moved over in 6th grade to the south side, Costores, South Park, Carroll area.
Yeah, Carroll.
And Carroll.
So all you guys from Carroll, I found that out.
Yes.
Surrounded by tigers here.
There you
Tigers
go.
on the prowl.
Ronnie said,
So,
Right.
oh yeah, shout, yeah. I'm not surrounded completely. We got a Texan out here. Yeah, she's off screen. We got a person off screen. Got a Texan off screen. Appreciate y'all. Yeah. What's up? Man, so they're getting rid of that building, huh? The old school Carol building, because they built the new one, didn't they?
Yeah.
I actually took a tour of it.
Oh, seriously? Wow.
I'm not
They had
sure.
tours, right?
Well, I took a tour. A friend of ours works over there at Carroll, so she took us around, or took me around and showed me the new school. It was very big. And then I went and actually walked around right before they closed it. And they had a last tour of Carroll, and it was like all these people kind of touring the place
Yeah.
and stuff. So it was
Yeah.
a lot of memories because I hadn't really been in a lot of those spots for many years.
Yeah, definitely. My wife, she's from Carroll. She's a Tiger.
Right.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, man. Appreciate you guys for joining everybody on the live stream,
Thank you.
man. Yes, thank you so much.
The haunted airplane.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
the hangar, right?
Yeah, the airplane hangar.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
another
right.
one.
Yeah, that's true. I
actually
forgot
in one
about
of
that
our
one.
horror films, Dark Blood. That was one we made in 2000. We shot part of it at the airplane hangar.
Nice. Got another question from Facebook. Mauricio Cantu. What made y'all keep the filmmaking local versus going out to bigger cities?
It's a really good question. For me, it's just the familiarity with everybody here, and just we've been here so long. We've seen the evolution of the scene, and I've had friends move away, and then they get kind of eaten up by the business sometimes, and they just kind of lose their passion for it. And I was just kind of hoping it was kind of like with George Romero. He never left Pittsburgh. He tried to keep making films in his hometown for as long as he could.
Like you were saying earlier, like do what you know, like work with what you know.
Same thing with Robert Rodriguez. He still works in Austin.
Yeah.
Wow, crazy. Oh, he's from Austin.
Well, he's from San Antonio originally, but
Oh,
he
no
lives
kidding.
in Austin. Yeah.
Wow, dude. Man, it's pretty cool, dude. I wish like that our creatives in the city would like have bigger than what we have. You know what I mean? But I guess I don't know. It's just how
You know, it's also good things that I noticed too is that we actually took part of it, and if you go watch it in Muerte, there's parts of the city, especially downtown, that are not filmed or not seen too much, and it's cool that we used and Chris used. There's a couple of alleys down here that just are perfect for filming, and Chris saw that and saw there was an alley there to film and what's good, and I see some other filmmakers as well use certain parts of Corpus that when I was younger I remember that actually being a functional place.
Wow.
Like the Ritz Theater or when it was going on. We filmed in there. Then other people filmed in there. But that's what I like about local filmers. They know where all the cool things are at when they were kids, right? And that this will be cool to film at.
Yeah.
And where you wouldn't even think about that would be a good place to film. So there's a lot of places here in Corpus that you can do, especially downtown. There's a lot of really cool little nicks and places where you can just film a good scene.
Yeah.
I
And
think also too, if I'm not mistaken, talked to Rob about this, but South Texas Underground, they've been big supporters of what we did and have done. And I think we were the first ones to actually screen a locally made film in the Alamo Draft House
Oh, really?
here. I think we were the first ones to do that. Don't quote me on that, but I remember it was kind of like a thing at that point, and that was quite an accomplishment. That was probably one of the things that drives us too, is that we got to see our film on the big screen like that. Just spending so much time in that theater watching our other movies, and then to see our own projected that huge.
And I think that's what all the filmmakers here in Corpus, I think that's one of the things they want to strive to, is they want to see their film on the big screen. It gets that sense of accomplishment. They, oh, wow, look at that. And regardless what people think of your film, they're watching your film. And that's the whole purpose of this, is get your film out, get it watched, and see what everybody thinks about it.
Yeah.
Like it, don't like it. But still, you go to the movies every day, all the time. A lot of times you don't like the films you see. A lot of times you do.
Yeah.
So it's really great.
Because that's interesting to me, because like the only films that a lot of us know is just big, huge production companies, and y'all's is basically like an indie, right? Would you say?
Yeah, micro budget.
So when did you start to liking other indie artists? I guess you could say. Like, have you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's also the other thing that South Texas Underground does really well too, is we've gotten to meet a lot of great filmmakers and make some good friendships and see their movies and they see ours, and kind of that reciprocation of work too.
Yeah.
And that's really important, I think, as filmmakers. That kind of keeps us motivated and keeps us cheering each other on,
Yeah.
Because we just got to see Mauricio's film recently too.
Yeah.
So.
Who's that? Mauricio?
Marisa
Mauricio
Cantu, who just said the
Cantu.
question.
Oh, all right,
He just
nice.
did the Barber
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's grateful.
Yeah, dude.
And Chris's movie too.
Yeah, Chris.
Yikes.
What's it? I don't know. What's it? You know his last name?
Yikes, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh, no, it's Olvera.
Yeah, Oliveira's, but
Yeah, shout out
Yikes.
Chris. Yeah, man, for sure. Yeah, he's another. Is there any other production companies in town? Do y'all know?
Oh yeah, there's quite a few.
Mauricio has one. His motion picture company, right?
Yeah.
I'm in one of his movies too. Actually, he's coming out.
Ah,
in
nice.
a couple of weeks here. Actually, they're showing it at the art thing. They have it on Thursday.
Thursday, right?
The Thursday at the art museum.
Oh, okay.
They're gonna show it. So it's called Inside My Heart.
Yeah.
And Mauricio Cantu directed it. It's a film project for TAMUCC, and it came out really good. So it's a short, 15-minute.
Mario's a working actor, by the way, so if he's looking for actors, he's right here.
Yeah,
You got an IMDb? I bet you.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, that's what's
Kinda
up.
have
Oscar
to.
does too. Yeah. Back over
I
here.
think we all have.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, we got some people, some fans off screen, or some how do you say some people related to the production off screen. So
Our executive producer.
yeah. Let's see. Oh, how do you feel about the SAG writers strike from Anthony Diaz? If you don't like that, we'll go to
No, I got a lot of opinions on that actually, and it's true because we've found ourselves in interesting waters as well. It's just that people aren't getting paid what it's like musicians. They're just the streaming is not included in what they were striking for and their rights and stuff, and it's tough. You know, you just don't see the returns. They're trying to pay them on an outdated system, so
Wow.
things have changed. They're drastically changing, and it's tough. It's hard to pour yourself into a project and then get paid back peanuts.
No, man, I can't stand that. Yeah, I can imagine because like I'm a musician and music is just like you just turn on the radio and you got music. You know what I mean? It's not like you can have somebody actually there playing for you and people actually appreciate it. You know what I mean? Because I played in restaurants before. I used to play classical guitar, and people were just like, "Oh, it's just music." You know what I mean? And you're actually there trying to play for tips. You know what I mean? And it's like a for granted thing, I guess you can say.
And I think a lot of what streaming has done, for my opinion too, is it's kind of made movies almost like, whereas we used to go to the video store and put some thought into what we were looking for and, you know, doing a little bit of research into it. I think streaming is just a lot of going through stuff and not really investing in it and stuff. And it's kind of hard to make people care about it. And that's the thing. You got to kind of build your brand that way around it.
Wow. And you got the short videos that are like
Right.
30 seconds long.
Fighting the short attention spans. Yeah.
Wow, man. Wow. So you have to guess keep up with the times to continue moving forward.
Right.
Yeah. Man, so Anthony's got a bunch of different questions here, man. So
Thank you, Anthony.
He's got better ones than I do.
Hopefully we
so-
got good answers.
Yeah, no. His dude, I keep shouting him out. I should probably make him a co-host or something.
Right.
Jeez, for sure. Man, you guys have been awesome coming on. Is there anything y'all want to share? Anything you want to share?
Well, I mean, we do have a YouTube channel and it features a lot of our previous projects. And I think what's interesting about it is you can see the progression in our work. You know, we started very like a garage band, you know, with duct tape and glue and, you know, stuff like that on old grainy height video because we were that style of filmmaker back then, very micro budget. And then we progressed into, as we learned from our professor, Mac Hyperspa. Thank you, Mac. You know, he taught us the way to edit and, you know, compose shots and stuff like that. And you can see as our films progressed, you know, we just try to advance every time. We try to do something more challenging and more daring and, you know, like, and we hope people like it and hope people get behind it.
Why do you do that? Like, so I guess it's a challenge for you as a person or as a producer to continue to.
Yeah, so I always tell Mario and I always tell Chris and Oscar, so what can we do better? Every time we finish a project, what can we do better? I mean, what can we have done to better to make it better film? You know, and that's just more of us, you know, stepping out of our comfort zone and taking a step forward and get a little bit better at certain things, a little bit better at doing it. What we're going to do, let's make sure we have a high-end camera this time. That was a good camera, but let's make sure it is higher end. You know, give more production value to the film. You know, who do we have on sound? Who's doing audio? I mean, you know, like instead of us doing hands-on, because a lot of independent filmmakers, it's a one-man show. You're the person, the average independent filmmakers, a one-man show. He's filming and he's doing the audio. He has everything on his back, and he's doing it all on his own. But since we have a good group of people for Night Creature Productions, utilize the great people, and try to make sure we make it interesting. We make it fun for everybody. It's like, yes, it's hard. Mario can say it's hard, but at the end of the day, when we finish a project, I know when we finished Nosebleed, it was great because our turnaround from editing to getting that done was short amount of time. So we always want to make sure we get better, get bigger, and see what we can do. See how far we can push ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's cool that y'all have each other to bounce those ideas off of, to help elevate each other in that sense. And I think that because you're saying that some productions just have a one-man dude doing everything.
It's been done. I don't recommend it.
No
It's
kidding.
not easy.
Yeah, man. You mentioned so many great things. I forget. I always forget. But yeah, man, that's awesome. So you got that going on. What was I thinking about? So you gotta put all that stuff together and make it presentable for people to view it. So do you have to get like engineers to like put it all together? Because you said sound, and you got to make sure that everything's level and all that other stuff.
So like with Chris, Chris was pretty good at what he does, and so does everybody else. So we record sound on a different from video, or so we can like match them up later, and that's his headache when he does editing or whoever does editing.
Right.
But it's just like trying to find the right people. A lot of times if there's no one doing the audio, it could be I'm doing the audio, and I'm the producer on the thing, and that just takes away from the producer trying to make sure this guy, the director, is staying on schedule.
Yeah.
It's not, tender off a different location, or it goes off on a tangent on a different something else, because we try to, at least in our group of people and our actors, we try to make it a fun experience for everybody.
Right.
People don't want to be in a part of a film if it's not like fun. So we try to make it fun for everybody, make it more comfortable now, so when they're there, they have no idea what's going on behind the camera. They don't know if we're an hour behind schedule or 2 hours or right on schedule. They have no idea. All they know is they're acting in front of the camera's in front of them, and they're doing their acting and they're having fun. And that comes off a lot in movies when you can see the chemistry of all your actors. And then you see a movie and all of a sudden it looks like that was a fun movie to make. It looks like they're all having fun. And that comes off when all the actors are like, can have that chemistry together. But yeah.
So how do you go about making it fun for them?
Go ahead, Kristen.
We cover them in a lot of blood, and
Right.
Put makeup
or
on
bake them in a hot
Make them
room.
sweat for a little while.
Wow.
I mean, it should be equal amounts of fun, but equal amounts of work. I think it's they get as much out of it as anything else too. So
I can talk on my side, on the actor side of it, is that when we're doing even as chaotic as it was, and we did have people helping us, it still was a lot of moving parts going on, and they did make it easier for the actor to be able, especially for me, when I had all the makeup on and all that stuff. It's very hot and uncomfortable. But when I had to come back in and do my acting, I felt comfortable to be able to do that. In other words, Chris would allow you to do what, hey, I want you to do the scene this way, and do it, and then he'll let me do it the way I want to do it. And then and like I said, Chris has a really good eye for directing, so he knows what's good, what's not too good, and how many takes it to do it. And it's just a lot of stuff that goes along with doing it. If it's not fun for the actor, they're gonna not give a good performance. And I noticed that I never, not to say I get a good performance, because I don't think of myself that way, but I know I felt more comfortable and more at ease, especially being my first film, a major film or film itself. On set, it was, I don't know what's going to happen and what I'm going to do. It's a lot easier when you got makeup on your face, so you're covering your face, so you kind of hide yourself a little bit, so you can kind of be a little bit more free.
Yeah.
But it's cool that the atmosphere was there for that. And I've been in other film sets, and they're not like that. And so that's why I kind of gravitate to these guys, because they're having fun while doing work, really, really busting their butts. And you'd be surprised on how much stuff has to happen behind the scenes to make something happen for 2 or 3 seconds on film.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work, a lot of moving parts.
So on either side, y'all both know that y'all got to put in the work.
Yes. Oh yeah, on both sides. And I got to see it on Nosebleed. I worked behind the camera on Nosebleed. I wasn't in front of it, and I learned a lot. Chris and Oscar and Lewis and other people, even some of the actors, I learned a lot. And so just doing a lot of work and understand how much it takes to get that scene and move everything across to do another scene in the same place, it's not easy. And so I really give credit to people.
So y'all have to work with each other. You got to tell them, hey, you got to do this scene like this. How's y'all's? So y'all have like a relationship, right, with each other. Like has it progressed since? Oh, how long have y'all been working together?
Well, I've been with him since 2017, since doing actually the date, but that was just a one-time thing as an extra. But when he called me in to do with Method, we got more involved. I come from a graphics background, so I had a little bit of skill doing graphics. So I do some of the posters for all our movies, and I went back and did all the old posters for the old movies that they had done before me. We had in the movie in the Method, we had a comic book that we had to put together, and so we kind of me and Chris got together and got pictures from the film and put it all together, and it was kind of one of those things. Film after we did everything, because there were actual pictures from the movie that we filmed.
Wow.
And so we had to film the comic book after everything was done, so you can see all the pictures in there. So we put that together kind of at the end of the filming process, and it was not
That was
fun.
the last thing we shot.
Yeah, it was really difficult. But it worked. If it wasn't for that, we were kind of worried that might not work or come off good on screen, and it actually came out pretty good for, like I said, not having any budget at all. We were paying for all the stuff ourselves and just our time.
Yeah.
And that's just something I love to do. So being creative, Chris let me do it. And so, hey, I'm just like kids in a candy store. I'll sit there and start creating all day long. So it's something I love, and so he lets me do it. So they haven't told me no yet. So until they tell me no, I'm going to keep doing it.
So how do y'all feel about where it's gone so far?
I feel really good about what we've gotten to do and how we've been able to get it out to the public too. So, and it's, and again too, like what we did maybe 5 years ago, things are going to change and we're going to have to adapt to new structure of distribution. And we're going to have to look into all sorts of different things. So everything that we're doing for Evil Inheritance, we're definitely trying a lot of different things to make sure that we get what we want, that, the film comes out the way we were planning it. Because we put a lot of effort in this.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, man. I was paying attention. So you like where it's become, and you just wanted to continue to progress.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. What's your favorite scary movie? Love CC Goth Girl by Ronnie Martinez on YouTube.
Oh, Ronnie. It's always putting us on the spot.
No, Ronnie.
Let's have Ronnie go first.
Yeah, Ronnie, go first.
You tell us, Ronnie.
You go first, bro.
Come on, CC Goth Girl.
Sit in there and something.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go if you want to. Yeah.
What up?
We got the CC Goth Girl here, you guys.
Hi. Hello. Favorite horror movie? Actually, it's depending on, like, if you mean horror from American horror, like, because Freddy Krueger is my man.
Yeah, whatever.
Or if we're going to my overall, it's going to be for Takashi Miike. Is that how I don't say it?
Yeah.
Japanese director, Ichi the Killer. And Battle Royale is also so.
Ooh, Japanese horror.
Yeah, I have a tattoo of the main character, Kakihara.
Oh my gosh! So what's the difference between, like, is there a huge difference between the Japan or is it
You can tell the difference between it, like the Asian horror and then American horror, even Italian horror.
No, kidding. Wow.
So yeah, there's there's just so much difference, and then of course indie horror. You're always going to get different aspects of horror everywhere, and I think that's what's.
So how did you find out about Night Creature Productions?
How did I get to meet you, Chris?
We were talking about Transformers.
Oh yeah, I'm a big Transformers, Star Wars fan. I have lightsabers and
Nice.
then of course horror, and then I don't know, we just started hanging out, and then he's like, "You want to be in the movie?" And
Perfect part for your run.
yeah, and I auditioned, and I'm like one of the bitchy girls
Oh,
in
come on.
there. So yeah,
Throwing
so
a lot of attitude in that movie.
Right on. Yeah. Wow. Wow. So you got to deal with him telling you, hey, you need to do this or you need to act or whatever.
yeah, I had fun actually on Nosebleed, and I was like, "Hey, can I do this with my character?" And they're so easy to work with, and they're like, "Let's try it out, see how it works." and it did work out. And
Yeah.
threw with a little things of my own on there, and it came out. People laughed, so that was good. So now it's y'all's turn to tell.
Awesome. Appreciate you.
You want to go first?
I think.
Go ahead.
Oh, me. Gosh. My to go to is Dawn of the Dead 78, and then Evil Dead 81, and then probably The Exorcist after that.
Oh,
That's all good.
The Exorcist.
I would say I like Deep Red. That's Italian horror movie. The Exorcist was really good, and Evil Dead with Bruce Campbell.
Yeah. Well, they took all mine. So I'll just say three that they didn't say. Suspiria is a really good movie, the original Suspiria. Though it's more, I guess, kind of on the sci-fi side. I like The Thing from Carpenter. I just love the makeup of that. My dad took me to see that movie when I was a kid. I remember going to the theater the day it came out, and my dad works all day, so he was tired. So back then they didn't have movies at 1 and today's 5, 7, and 9. That was it.
No.
And on that Friday it came out. I went to Cine 6, I remember locally, and went to watch that movie, and it freaked the crap out of me because it was so realistic. The practical effects in that movie are so awesome. If you haven't seen it, you got to see it. It's so awesome. So it's one of those things. That's what got me really into more of the practical makeup effects, and I started doing that with Halloween stuff at the house. But that's The Thing is really top of my list. John Carpenter is a great director. I mean, Halloween's one of my favorite too. And he's done, like I said, when somebody with a no budget or very limited budget did a lot, especially in that movie, in Halloween. He did a lot of new things, inventive things that people use now in filmmaking. Like if you see that first shot in Halloween when they go up the stairs and stuff, that's almost all one shot. And they hadn't really done that before because there's no way to do it with a film camera. Digitally you can do it, but with a film camera you run out of film, and so you've got to change it. So they, on that film, that was kind of one of the things that really struck me.
Steadicam.
Steadicam. He actually invented that camera for that movie.
Wow.
That's the way they stayed. He walked up. The guy walked up the stairs. Kind of one of those cameras that stand in front of you and it bounces.
Wow.
Kind of that was kind of the first kind of prototype of that kind of camera. Now they've gotten so great now that you can balance cameras on gyroscopes down.
Man, I love y'all's
crazy.
love for all this stuff out here. Who we got coming on?
Oscar Martinez,
We
our
got Oscar
executive
Martinez.
producer, or saying his horror movie.
Mine's gonna be a cliche. Mine is
Get close to the mic.
Come closer.
mine's gonna be a cliche because mine's a scary movie. I love slasher films.
Wow.
Yeah, Scream.
Scream.
Yeah,
Scream.
yeah. That's what I said. It's gonna be cliche
All right.
because it's what's your favorite scary movie? It's
Oh
gonna be
yeah,
Scream.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think a lot of people know about that one. I see that. That's like one of the very few horror films that
very,
I've seen. Obviously,
Self-referential.
yeah, for sure.
Wes Craven, another master too. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
Thanks
so
a lot.
hard to pick.
Yeah. Wes Craven, that's he's the producer, right?
Yeah, he directed Scream and Nightmare on Elm Street and The Hills Have Eyes. So I mean,
No way.
he's
That man?
he's the master too.
Oh, he's the dude. He's the man.
He is.
And John Carpenter as well. You
John
know, we
Carpenter.
were huge fans. We watched all the movies growing up. You know.
Wow.
That's what's boiling in our heads. You know.
Man, I love y'all's love for this. It's awesome. Like it makes me want to like love it with you. You know what I mean? It's pretty cool. Thanks a lot, Kaylee and Marie for commenting. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
What do we got, Maya? What do you got the time there? 8:58. You guys have been here for an hour. What do y'all think?
Oh yes, this is awesome.
fun.
So
Awesome.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah. And thanks to the CC Goth Girl for putting us together. Yeah, it's awesome.
Thank you, Ronnie.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. So I gotta have the Corpus Christi HEB question, that's famous question. Which one do y'all avoid, or which one do you go to?
I don't avoid any of them. I go to them all. I used to work in the news business. You went wherever the HEB was closest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Avoid HEB.
or Walmart, either one.
I get some people mad at me, man. Why don't you like that HEB? It's
Oh,
like-
okay. Oh, yeah. Oh,
The traffic in the Moore Plaza one's kind of.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy to get
Yeah.
into now. But yeah, I love HEB.
Yeah.
They want to sponsor us. They're more than happy.
Yeah, if you want to sponsor us, that's more than
they got
appreciated.
the sparkling water at HEB.
Oh, that's it. Come on, HEB.
Yeah.
You got some money. I can help us out.
Yeah, come on, HEB, help us out. So
Help
yeah,
all of us out.
Yeah. So do you feel like the I guess the Corpus community like doesn't want to support, or like what do y'all think about that?
I just think that Corpus Christi community doesn't know what we're doing out here. Because, for example, on the last screening we had at the annex, we had some people out there, and I said, I didn't know that people in Corpus are making movies. And I'm like, oh yes, they are. We're not the only ones. There's a lot of us out here making movies, and I just feel that maybe it's just that they're not on social media. Maybe it is they don't know. And I feel that's probably one of the things. I mean, that's why we're not getting a lot of support. And maybe they don't like horror movies. Maybe they don't like movies in general. But still, I think they just don't know about it.
And I think for us too, it's just getting the word out. You know, it's just there's so much chatter out there, and breaking through it, and without paying enormous amounts in advertisement, to get those ads out there and those posts done and reposted and stuff. It's just building the awareness of what we're trying to do, and hopefully people get behind it. And we're always, very open as much as we can be.
Yeah. So how do we find you guys on? Because we're on social media. How do we find y'all to get to know y'all?
We're on all the social media, and then definitely our website, nightcreatureproductions.com. There's ways to contact us there.
You're also on YouTube, Night Creature Productions. Aren't y'all on Tubi or Tubi?
Yeah, the film Muerte Tales of Horror is on Tubi.
And then you had one on Amazon too. I saw
Amazon Prime, yeah.
Amazon Prime. Wow.
Plex.
Kelly
Apple.
Diaz, we got a question. Are there any outdoor screenings coming up for the summer?
Not that we're aware of, but there's always time to plan one.
Yep. We've got some great ones coming up in the summer that we're planning right now. So we'll make sure we put it on the website and get it out to everybody so that way they can see it.
Right on. There you go.
And we'll be there.
Yeah. Shout out. Follow them on social media, you guys. If you want to figure out if that screening is coming up.
We even have a TikTok.
But,
you
got a TikTok.
We have a TikTok. We
Okay.
have Facebook. We're on Threads. We're on X. We're on what else?
Instagram.
Instagram. Yeah. So you can follow us at Night Creature Productions.
Right on. Right on. All right, you guys. Thanks a lot, Kaylee. Thanks everybody for watching on the live stream. If not, do you have anything else you want to share?
Just a reminder that we do have something coming on April 20th this Saturday at the Community Wellness Center, the yoga, goth yoga. So if y'all don't have anything to do that Saturday, come visit us. We do our screening nosebleed. It's only 15 minutes, so you can sit down for 15 minutes and watch the film. I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy it. It's pretty funny.
And everything's donation based. You don't have to pay, but if you feel inclined to donate, please do.
Yes.
You have a donation page?
Yeah, we do.
It's on our website.
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. All right. Well, guys, thanks a lot for coming on the show.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thanks for
Thanks so
coming
much.
on. Stay tuned for the next couple episodes. Tomorrow I got Joshua Verduzco, registered dietitian, state of Texas, is going to be in tomorrow. Check it out. And I got some other people lined up. So stay tuned for the Corpus Christi Originals podcast next week and tomorrow. Appreciate you guys.